My new book, Pillars for Life, A Guide to Spiritual Ethics and Practice, is now out and available for you to read and purchase. You can check out our website, willowhealing.org, to find a link, or you can find it on Amazon. We look forward to getting your feedback, and if you love it, please leave a review and share with your friends. Now it's time for the show. Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Catherine from Willow Healing, and today with me I have Ulrika Sullivan. So she is a former scientist turned author, intuitive spiritual coach, and galactic astrologer. She is passionate about helping to increase awareness and connection to our multidimensional self, soul journey, including galactic connections. Ulrika is the author of Wisdom Beyond What You Know, How to Shift from Being Driven by the Mind to Living from the Heart and Intuition. And she's the creator of the podcast New Light Living, See Your Life in a New Light. So a big welcome to the show, Ulrika, and I'm very, very excited to have this conversation.
Thank you so much. I really feel that your podcast right up my alley. So I can not wait to have a conversation with you.
So for anyone listening who's thinking, what is galactic astrology? Did you want to explain that?
Yes, I mean, galactic astrology is really in its infancy, I would say, but it's also very divinely timed because now we're, as a human species, starting to be ready to open up to recognize and remember our multidimensional self and kind of bring that into our daily lives. And that's really what I do through, many of you who are listening or watching may be really familiar with astrology, or you may not. But galactic astrology goes further into the fixed stars, galactic points, further out beyond our own solar system.
Wow.
And it's just an additional layer. I usually call it like I added additional layers that brings in a little bit more information, and also it links into our soul journey. So the quantum field is part of this, and I use galactic astrology very much in working with clients to open up to that soul journey, and be able to describe also soul incarnations. Past, present, future is often a concept, but
It's all at the same time.
Have connections to other places outside Earth as part of our soul journey, and that's galactic astrology is great to use as a tool to bridge that knowledge.
I love this because I don't tell a lot of people, but I do a lot of work with galactics, and I can have this conversation because people are listening and they're going to tune in for this reason. But it's really amazing because when you can tap into your galactic heritage and actually start to follow that pool of where your soul actually originated from, it starts to answer a lot of questions. Why you are how you are, and why you've chosen to incarnate on Earth right here, right now, because it's been set up. It's not like a setup in a bad way, but it's almost been orchestrated to ensure that your soul reaches what it wants to reach. And I love how you describe it too, because a lot of people think it's past lives and future lives, but it's all happening at the same time. And I guess that's something really hard for people to get their minds around as well.
Yes, it's in human form. We want to put things on a timeline because that's we work in time and space here, and as we are incarnated in human form. But and it's just a way of describing. But it's also the connection that we can make to why we're working with a certain energy in relationships. Let's say it might have a bigger reason than just like, oh, here's my sister and I, and we have this struggle or whatever. But it brings when we bring it up to the soul level and the soul journey level, it brings it into a bigger perspective, and sometimes can change the perspective of what actually is taking place. So yes, exactly what you're saying there is super important.
Mm. And being from a scientist background, what pulled you into discovering all this galactic energy and beyond?
Yes, I often receive that question because sometimes we believe that science and spirituality or quantum knowledge or insights are not really jiving together. But I think for me personally, there was a reason that I was in the science world first, and now I'm on the metaphysical world. And for me, it was really a journey of discovering that there is more. Science often provides us with deep insight about a certain topic, but multi metaphysical is kind of the unseen, right? It's infinite opportunities, and for me, I use my science background quite a lot to be able to bridge in terms of language or how I describe things. It really has served me well in terms of understanding the earthly world and how we make assumptions, and how we work with the intuitive world. But for me, it also was a personal journey to of awakening,
Mm. Yeah.
because I spent 20 plus years in the corporate world and doing, the traditional path of success, if we call it that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a major shift that brought me into where I'm at today, more as a coach, astrologer, all the metaphysical things that I've picked up as an energy healer, and all of that. So for me, also, I think that path really provided me an opportunity to speak from experience in terms of what that journey may look like for others, and that's how I kind of help bridge that awakening process today.
Yeah, and I just saw this moment of your like almost this you switching from this logical brain, which is very scientific, to coming more into your heart and following that intuition, and almost like your soul going, "Oh, finally!" Like,
Yes, yes, yes. It's very much so, and it's also my journey is very much laid out in like little personal tidbits of this journey in my book, because a lot of people are going through the same process,
mm,
and it's a way of kind of identify ourselves with, yeah, it is possible to make a big shift in life, and to redefine what success is.
which is that is such an important message because often we're being conditioned that success is you have a job, you get a promotion, you have the big house, the cars, to employ something, children and a cat and a dog. But really success is a feeling, and people are always chasing after the material thing rather than coming back into what they feel is success.
Yes, yes, and it's this way we potentially like anchor this experience by looking in the external world first, but then we realize that it really is through the inner world that we're evolving and shifting our perspectives and values. And yeah, so it's been a wonderful journey, and now the galactic astrology is just right on time in terms of our humanity and evolution, because it's like bringing that bigger multidimensional perspective into our daily lives that I'm very passionate in helping others integrate
Yeah.
as well. It's, yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive.
And I'm curious, how did you fall into galactic astrology? Because I hadn't heard of it before until I found your profile and it came across my conscious, really. But how did that eventuate?
It was a synchronicity, as often when we're led on our path, things come in front of you, and I kind of consider. I have always, probably since beginning of 2010, 2011, been interested in astrology, and even kind of studied on my own prior to kind of making this bigger shift 10 years later from corporate. So I've always kind of studied astrology myself for my own purposes, and used it also in my coaching practice, just to kind of so I slowly came into the field of astrology, which I now realize that I've done in the past. In past lives, I've done this because I picked it up super fast. But when I came across Julia Balas's work, which is how I certified as a Galactic Astrology quantum soul practitioner, it just clicked. It just like, this is it. This is, I just had, and it was simply coming across a Facebook post or whatever it was. Maybe it was a YouTube video, and I just was drawn to do a little bit more research, and I, that's the way it starts, right? And then I dove into it head first, and here we are. So I really just added this practice, this as a practitioner, to the suite of other things that I was already doing, being a yoga teacher, a professional coach. So this was really just an additional modality to use. And but this must have been, now I certified in 2022.
The 3 years.
Was 22. So it's a fairly new practice, and I was kind of amongst the first 100 that took the course.
How exciting.
And today we are about, I believe we're around 85, 90 certified practitioners or more. I don't have the exact number, but it's a lot of interest, a lot of curiosity around our soul journey and the galactic connections that we have. So it's just been a great match for me to be part of.
And I love that and it's such a good thing for listeners to hear, because when you find what your soul's meant to be doing, it does feel like that. It's just like, wow, I'm coming home. Like, I've done this before. And it's that constant repetitiveness of deja vu as well, where you're like, hang on a minute, I'm pretty sure I've done this, and and I've had that so much in my life, where I'm like, or timeline shifting too. Like, that's the other aspect of it, right? Like, when you're working in that quantum field and you go, oh, I've done this before. Actually, no, I haven't done this before, but I know I've done this before because I know I'm on the right timeline and I'm having this conversation and catching up. So
Totally.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Sometimes I'm in the moment and I'm like, I'm already had this conversation, but I know I haven't. So I'm curious now. My next question. I'm genuinely curious today. I'm so excited. So you have your base astrology. So how does the galactic layer work? You're saying that it goes beyond what we can see in our system. So how do you actually tap into that and tune into that energy?
Yes. So the alignment to the fixed stars are pretty easy to do. It's based on Western tropical astrology, and your birth chart is kind of the foundation of adding this additional layer. And as part of being a practitioner, I also have access to Julia, and her team created this software that can add we work with about the 88 constellations really that we're working with in of the sky that we recognize, right?
Yeah.
And so we have ability to create a galactic chart, but it always is based on the birth chart, of course, and the solar system that we work with in Western tropical astrology. You can also apply galactic astrology to sidereal or any astrological system that you use. It's just a matter of adding that layer. And what we look at is always starting off with your natal chart. And let's say you have a conjunct, which means, a conjunct alignment means, let's say your natal sun is conjunct a fixed star, which means the alignment is fairly exact. And the orbs that we use are very, I would say, tight, by between 1 degrees to maybe 2, 3 degrees. Some of the galactic points that we work with, we can allow up to 10 degrees because of the magnitude of the influence. But for example, a conjunct alignment to a fixed star or to your natal sun is interpreted a certain way, but we're looking at conjunctions first, and then obviously astrological aspects such as oppositions, and the geometric kind of way of looking at synchronicities or alignments and formations within an astrology. So we apply the same methodology. It's just a bigger perspective, a bigger complexity, if you will.
Yeah.
And each star is also associated with archetypal energy, just like other asteroids or even planets we are normally hearing about in traditional astrology. So it also has been a practice of merging kind of insights from past life regressions, and this is really how the founder of this certification started. She was also a past life, QHHT is a practitioner way of recalling past lives, and when she's also an astrologer, so it kind of put the two together. When people started to recall their galactic lives, like, oh, I have to look up their astrology chart and see, and with time there was such alignment between similar recall, that it can be also said to, that a fixed star is associated with a certain soul journey, for example, or characteristics of certain interactions galactically. I don't know if I'm explaining it, but it's like this intersection between describing the soul journey and what you see in the chart archetypally is the beauty of this practice, because it's more than just an analysis of a chart. It's actually a dive into someone's soul journey galactically as well. And I think that is really what clicked with me, because I'm also an intuitive, to be able to work with both my analytical science mind, right, and the intuitive side is really beautiful. And the intuitive bit is a huge portion of this practice. So I think that's what really stands out for me, is a difference between, let's say, traditional astrology, which is somewhat analytical, and I wouldn't speak for everyone. There are intuitive astrologers as well, but it's the emphasis is very much on the soul journey.
And it's very, when you were saying that too, it was the galactic soul lineage that you have. That's what I kept hearing, because a lot of people don't realize how that's entwined in our DNA as well, and how when you can understand why and where and how those energies are playing out, it gives you a deeper understanding of yourself, which is really all we want to know, right? Who am I? It's that constant question.
Yes. That's the question what most people ask, like where I'm from and why am I here? And to be able to to share that bigger perspective is giving us an opportunity to shift that perspective of why we're here. Because it's easy to just look at the relationships we have, or what we've been told we're good at, and so the focus shifts once we tap into that bigger multidimensional picture.
Yeah, and I love that it does have that extra element to it, because a lot of people, if anyone's listening to this and still think we're alone in the universe, okay, that is your ego talking. You need to snap out of that, because there is
Yes.
big changes and big energies happening. And often when you start to be open and curious about this, it makes so much sense. It's that like longing, especially when you look at the stars and you feel like, oh, there's home out there. And it's that that's the energy you're kind of working with and that's coming through, I can imagine. Has there been anything really surprising, or that you've like, oh, Wow, this is really cool. In any of the readings you've done, or even for yourself?
Well, I'm amazed every time I sit in front of a client uh, how the body response is mirroring, because really the body and the soul, like the body and soul, is very much intertwined, and it amazes me every time how spontaneous that soul recognition is, and it comes through the body, either through emotion, but also like physical body language. I can tell when when somebody's soul is recognizing a memory that I may be verbally, it's me as a conduit of this information. It's meant to be, right? That they're meant to hear it from me. The people that come to me are divinely guided to do so, and that's what amazes me every time. That soul recognition, I can tell it's a soul memory that they're experiencing as we go through the reading, and that is really why this is so powerful, because it's a recognition beyond words. It's a recognition beyond what the logical mind is telling us is right. It's that heart to heart kind of recognition, and that amazes me every time. And yeah, it also tells us how limited, in a way, that the human mind is.
Yep.
Because we come into a situation, let's say a reading, with expectations on, oh, we need to know this and when and how and all of that, right? And then it turns out to be something completely different that is shared, like it's recognized in that experience. And it amazes me all the time. And yeah,
Yeah.
so I would say it's the experience that really surprises me sometimes in the moment when we are when I'm meeting with a client, let's say, that it's this magical time. So yeah, and it flies by. I'm always amazed how time flies, because it really is quantum information that we're processing in a reading, and that just like, oh my gosh, it's already 2 hours.
I know. I feel like that when I'm working with people too, and they're like, oh, we've been here that long? It's like, yes. Yes, you have. I've got to see someone else, or I've got to go get my child, like we need to keep going. But it's I had goosebumps when you were explaining that, because often that's what it feels like, right? When you feel that alignment with your soul, and you feel like, this is what I've been searching for, or this is the information I've been missing for my life. And then when you can tune into that and really honor that, that's where that feeling comes from, and that, full body experience, because your logical brain can't override this strong alignment that it has with your intuition and your heart, knowing that that's the truth.
Right. Yeah, and of course, it always amazes me, for example, when a client's soul origin is in another universe, let's say, or some sort of place, or realm that is completely out of the mainstream
Narrative.
knowledge,
Yeah.
right? It's that always amazes me too, right? But those types of discoveries are very frequent, right? That there's something very unique about each soul that I come across as delivering readings. And what I see also is that many are related currently to ancient civilizations on Earth as well, because it's not only galactic incarnations that I can trace. It's also Earth incarnations that often are linked to the galactic journey as well. So it's a beautiful, tapestry and map, a blueprint to work with each client, and it's different for everyone.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. And it's interesting because, I believe that, we have many soul fragments. So to like put that all together and see where they've collected from across the different multiple incarnations that we often go through. Have you ever met a newer soul where you're like, oh, You've actually not been here very long. Oh, yes, you're going yes.
Yes, multiple clients have is here for the first time.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is also a relief for many to kind of, because the soul recognition is also strong. Like, why am I struggling so much to
Be
adjust
human.
here to either society or adjust to the way we're living? Why am I having such struggles in this life? And once that clicks in, like, oh, I haven't been here before. It's like, yeah, I understand now, and it's a what comes out of that is an increased self-love
Mm.
or acceptance of the experience that the person is having now, and that's beautiful to see, right? It's happened a few times that, it's clear that this soul is here for the first time, and have described to me, it just throughout, that they're struggling so much with this or that, or it's, yeah,
Mm. And it's
it's a
like,
beautiful validation often for someone.
yeah, especially when I know there's a term that I read, and it was that Earth is the emotional university of the galaxy. And I was like, yep.
Yes,
And if
yes.
if you're a new soul, then that's quite a thing to actually navigate through, because that's part of being the human experience, is to experience all the emotions and the highs and the lows, and to protectively forget, but at the same time you want to remember. So it's really, it's so nice that you have this tool to assist your clients. And then I'm assuming then you weave that in now with working with your coaching clients as well.
Yes, yes, and it's been really beautiful to be able to offer the integration opportunity, because often a reading is a download, right? It's an activation. You get all this information, and it's like, what do you do with it?
Mm-hmm.
So, as a professional coach, I can then take that into integration over time, which is really where the major life changes are happening. So that's a beautiful path for somebody to walk, that feels compelled to actually do something with this information, and integrate it. And it's often, shifts in perspective, and once we shift the perspective on something, we also act differently. Or yeah, so it's a process, but I that's the part that I truly also love, because it's, witnessing people's shifts that they make in life that has an impact on this human life is really why we're here. Right? It's this human life here that we came to impact in some form, and it's beautiful to watch that happen when things click in for someone who is like, oh, I really, have a better relationship with my mother, because I know our past history together over lifetimes, and that new perspective is worth its weight in gold,
Mm.
and that just is very powerful to witness when someone over time is yeah, evolving that way. So
And even getting to know yourself at that deeper level. For me, that's the biggest thing I've taken out on just, basic astrology readings and numerology and that sort of thing. They're all tools to help you to get to know yourself, so you can understand yourself more. And then when you react in a certain way, or you get a certain feeling, there's a deeper level of understanding, and then you can learn in turn to trust your intuition more, because you start to learn what feels right for you and what doesn't feel right for you. And then that's when things start to align more, because you understand, oh, look, for me, I get really frustrated when things aren't in alignment. So I know when I'm feeling frustrated, oh, this isn't aligning with my soul right now, and I'm going to say no and back off. So it's really,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
um,
and that creates a lot of empowerment when we have that insight, and can act upon what's right for us, what's really working for us, and stand up for that, and kind of scale away the things that are not aligned with our natural energy, our soul essence. So yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And it's
It's really a privilege to do this. It's an honor to do this work, for sure. And what you do too is amazingly impactful.
and it's yeah, and it's just I was gonna say it is it's such a blessing and almost like okay, I know why I'm here now. That's the only way I can
Yeah.
describe it. It's like, yeah, I get it. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. I'm here to for me it's to tell stories and allow people to share their stories because, that's the biggest calling I have, to be seen and heard without hiding, so and then and that comes from understanding what my past lives were like too, and coming to be curious about what my incarnation was. And that's the biggest thing about always being curious. And if someone's listening to this right now and going, "Ooh, I'm really curious about this galactic astrology," follow that breadcrumb. It's your soul telling you there's something there you need to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a such power to listen to those or act upon those synchronicities. And yes, so everyone who's here listening to this episode likely are here for a reason.
Exactly. And if they're still
That's
listening.
just how it works. Yeah.
Exactly. And as we start to come to the end of our time together, Ulrika, how if some you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
Hmm. I probably would heal everyone's hearts, but also I would extend it into healing Earth, or that alignment that we all have with our physical realm. And Earth
Mm,
is a very much a representation of the abundance that we have available to us to align with on a daily basis. But it would be such a healing moment for humanity to live heart based, heart and I wish that for everyone to feel that alignment and love, self love, basically, which is the path we're on. But it gives so much stability to the soul, and grounding, and that's often where we start,
mm,
because it's a great desire at the moment, and we are moving into very much air and fire energy, astrologically, which does not include the element of earth as much, but we will have to provide that earth within ourselves,
mm,
that stability to stay grounded, because it's very easy to want to be somewhere else, want to take off, not be here. But
yeah. Yeah.
it's actually the reverse. The bigger we want to go and heal, the the equally we need to ground ourselves and be here, and
Yeah.
so that's what I wish for everyone, that balance,
Yeah. It's
to expand through grounding to earth, but also open up to the bigger self, the bigger soul journey, and
yeah.
enjoying that.
Yeah, and I love that reminder because when I started my spiritual journey, I was so happy just staying in my meditative state and exploring that often I would have to come back down and really ground and do a lot of grounding practices because, it's all good that we can meditate and connect, but if we don't look after our bodies and connect with Mother Nature because we are part of nature, then it makes it really difficult to do other things and to be,
Yeah.
the infinite being that we can be because we've chosen to be on earth at this time. And we need, like exactly what you said, we need to have that balance and we need to connect in to our bodies and to ground and to stay connected to earth.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's an important balance to honor, and yeah, and that's how we also embody what our mission and purpose is here. So
Exactly. And how can people find you, Ulrika, if they want to do a reading or if they want to tune into your podcast or read your book?
Yes, I would first direct you to go to my website, ulrikasullivan.com. But also, I have a growing YouTube channel it's named with my name, Ulrika Sullivan. So if you search for that, you'll find it. And so those are the two places to go, and there's always links to how to get to book a reading there on either my website or on the YouTube channel. And I welcome everyone to kind of come into community with like-minded who are interested in same things. Galactic astrology is definitely a growing topic that a lot of people are interested in, and together we learn, together we explore, and we're just scratching the surface. But come years to come here, there's a lot to uncover and step into and evolve into. So I'm excited.
I love that. And thank you so much for sharing your journey and sharing what galactic astrology is. And, I'm sure a lot of people are going to have their curiosity piqued after listening to this, which is exactly what we want, right? We want to plant seeds so that people go, oh, there's something more there. So
yes.
Thank you for the conversation.
So everyone is welcome to explore, it's the curiosity is a great thing to follow.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Ulrika. It's been
so
amazing. Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you are taking the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.